Good morning. Good morning. Welcome to Take It Back Thursday. Today is our fourth part of the series of Take It Back Thursday. When I tell you this series has been amazing, it has been amazing. Listen, the first thing that we took back was we took back our authority. Then we took back our confidence. And then we took back our time. And today we are taking back our finances. And when I told you today is going to be such a impactful and empowering day, and I'm so excited to announce that we are streaming on Kick now. So we actually have a new platform that we are, promoting on. We have TikTok. We have, all of the social media platforms. So make sure you look for at Sophisticated Press on all of your social media platforms. Today we're going to be talking about Take It Back Thursday and take it back your finances. And it was important for me to talk about taking back your finances because a lot of a lot of people have problems with finance and with managing their finance. And guess what? I'm in that same boat with you. So I'm not coming to you as this multimillionaire. I'm coming to you as a CEO who has a very successful business but had to be vulnerable and accept the fact that yes, I need help in bookkeeping. I need help in, just being responsible in my finances. And so I thought that it would be a great idea for us to go through this journey together of taking back our finances, right? Because in order for your business to be successful, in order for you just to be a successful human being at whatever level or perception that successful means to you, you have to have good finances, right? And one of the things that I have been noticing about the millionaires that I have the privy to be around is the millionaires that I'm privy to be around, they are very disciplined in their finances and they don't make impulse purchases. They don't make impulse decisions when it comes to them spending money. Like they're very disciplined. They don't mix funds. If they have a business, they make sure that only their business account is used for business purposes and only their personal account is used for personal purposes. Some of the CEOs that I'm around, they make sure that they pay themselves a salary out of their business. And you know, I've had the opportunity now to be a part of the Goldman and Sachs cohort number 7 of 1 million black women. And when we went over the finance, I was like, wow, I really need growth in that area. And I thought that that would be really good for me, to tell you, like, as a leader, that yes, you're still going to have things that you have to learn, things you have to unlearn, and that's okay. And in order for you to really be successful in finances, you're going to have to be honest with yourself. You're going to have to be honest with yourself because I've seen people be able to make it in life at every bracket of finances that they have. And I've seen people that are super duper rich and still don't have more money than the people that make less than them. So why is that? Why would you have someone who makes 6 figures have less money than someone who makes 5 figures? The reason is mismanagement of funds. And so today, we're going to take it back. We're going to take back control of our finances. We're going to take back ownership. We're going to take back accountability of being a good steward over income, right? Because most of us pray for God to give us more. And how many of you know God is not going to give you more if you're not being a good steward of what you have right now? Why? Because it will hurt you. Sometimes if God answered all of our prayers, it will hurt us because we're not ready for it. So today we're going to go through 3 important steps that you can do to take back your finances. So the first step that you're going to do to reclaim your financial power and make sure you have a pen and paper because take good notes. Note takers is money makers. Note takers is money makers. So get your notepad out, get your pen out. The first thing you're going to do is you're going to audit your money story. You're going to audit your money story. How does that look? That looks like you're going to write down your earliest memory about money. What is your earliest memory about money? Like, really think about that for a moment. When was the first time that you can remember your concept of money? And what was happening in that interaction? Was it a positive income experience? Was it a negative income experience? Let's think about that. Let's talk about that. Hmm? You're going to identify one limited belief you have about money that's holding you back. Why is this important? Because most thought leaders often self-sabotage and subconsciously get themselves back to where they're comfortable with. So for instance, if you are a type of person who gets money and by the end of the day that money is gone, you need to be taking this exercise. Why? Because we have something that's called a normal culture in our life. And whatever that normal is, even if it's dysfunctional or even if it's productive, our mentality and our subconscious is going to get us there. And so if you have made being in poverty your normal state, when you get money, I promise you by the end of the day or by 3 to 4 days, you'll be back broke. Why? Because that's your normal state. And your whole world is going to make sure you get back to your normal state. It's the same way with weight. As I'm on my journey to lose weight, and one thing about me, you're going to know all my business because that's the type of leader I am. On my journey to losing weight, I notice that there's a certain weight that my body is used to, and whenever my body go under that number, I binge eat to get back to that number, even though that number is a bad number. So the same way with your money, if you're used to only having $50 in the bank, if someone gave you $5,000 today, I promise you, you're going to spend it all until you get back to your normal state of $50. So the problem is we have to go in and scrape out that old way, that old normal in your life so that you have a new normal and new identity with money. We have to unlearn all of the bad lessons that was taught to you about money and put in a new identity, a new perception, a new concept of money, a new understanding of money. So this first step you're going to do is I want you to really think about what is your relationship with money? Because we live in a world today where it's so easy to make money, but yet we have people that still find it hard to make money. And then we have those who make money but still find it hard to save money. And then we have those who make money and save money, but they find it hard to multiply money. What I'm trying to tell you is levels to this. And you'll probably be learning these levels for the rest of your life, and that's okay. The first step we have to do is make sure that you understand money. Case in point, I remember 7 years ago when I first entered into the entrepreneur world. And I told the story on Take Back Your Authority, I think, where I told it before in live, where I had purchased my husband a trucking company for his birthday. This was 7 years ago. And when I first entered in, I bought him the trucking company for his birthday, but my company is a publishing house, just so we clear. So he was talking about, he wanted a trucking company. All his friends was having trucking companies. And I said, well, you know what? I didn't say it. My bad. Let me not take any of God's credit. God told me one night to buy him a business for his birthday. And so instead of me going to this store that we always go to and give him good morning, someone said good morning to me. We instead of me giving him the usual expensive outfit, the usual going out to dinner, spending hundreds of dollars, I went on the Secretary of State and purchased him a trucking company. And at 12 o'clock, I said, hey, happy birthday, check your email. And once I got him the trucking company and we began to negotiate the loads for the trucking company, and I began to help him make what he will make in a month and a day, I didn't understand that type of money. I knew then that there was something that was missing in my intellect about money, because here I am making $2,000, $3,000 a day in the trucking company for my husband, negotiating the deals, and I was like, "Oh, wait a minute, that's what I make in a month. We're gonna make this in one day." I didn't feel worthy. I didn't feel I felt like maybe they was making a mistake. Why? Because nobody had exposed me to the potential of making that type of money in a day, in an hour, in a phone call. So you mean to tell me I'd have to work 80 hours in a month to make this type of money? That I can make this in a day? I can make this in an hour? You mean to tell me that that is possible? No one had ever exposed me to that before. And I'm telling you, until you get the right exposure, your perception of money is going to be always wrong. And you're going to always find yourself in lack because you have not been exposed to what money truly is and how to work it. Some of the ways that I've been learning how money works is by getting around people who have some. If you are the richest person that you're around, you don't understand money. If you if you still around people who are afraid and looking at price tags and don't understand is and not and don't even have a business, and then if they do have a business, they don't have anything on their website over $100, over $50, you don't understand money. And you need to get around people that have some money. And when you get around them, shut up and listen. Shut up and observe. When you get around people that got money, don't you go yapping your mouth like you got some. You need to listen when you're around greatness. You need to listen when you're around wisdom and unlearn what we were taught as a little kid. Because I guarantee you, the majority of minorities was taught the wrong thing about money. And I can say that because I'm a minority. And it wasn't taught vindictively. Let me say that. It wasn't taught vindictively the wrong thing about money. They just taught us what they knew and what they had been exposed to. And this is why I'm telling you, every great person has a coach. Every great person has a mentor. I have several mentors. Why? because I understand that if I'm going to be great in life, I have to get around somebody who's smarter than me, somebody who has more money than me, somebody who has more education than me, somebody whose business is doing better than mine. And yes, your mentor might charge you. Your mentor might, it may be a fee to get coached. And guess what? You got to be willing to pay it. I've paid thousands of dollars, thousands, to be mentored by millionaires. And this is why now I'm able to coach millionaires. But I had to do the work. And I'm still doing the work of what is my relationship for money and with money. The next step I want you to do is I want you to implement the 1% wealth shift. What is the 1% wealth shift? The 1% wealth shift, is you're going to move 1% of your income into a separate account before spending. Just 1%. Start off at 1%. And this is going to be called your freedom fund. Just 1%. You really can do 1 to 10%. This is going to be called your freedom fund so that you have options. If you are a spiritual person, you're going to pay your tithes. I'm a tither. If you don't believe in it, no problem. It works for me. As for me and my household, we shall serve the Lord. It works for us. We pay 10%. But I would prefer to pay the 10% and bless the 90% than keep the whole 100% and don't have no covenant with it. Again, it's what you believe, right? Why does this work? Because monthly, if every time you're getting some money, you put 1 to 10% away in a special fund, you're growing a way for you to have options. Your money is your power. And don't take that the wrong way. This is what I mean when I say your money is your power. Because we all understand the love of money is the root of all evil. Money is not evil. Money is not evil. And money will take care of you if you take care of money. Facts. Facts. Right? When you don't have money, you don't have options. So when I say that money is your power, that is what I'm talking about. A lot of people have to do a lot of things that they don't want to do because they don't have the money to have options to say no. If you don't have options, you have to do what you're told. Why? Because you don't have an option. When you have income, you have options. So if you like being the person that like to have options, keep you some money in the bank. It doesn't matter how much you're making. Even if you get $50, put $5 up in the bank. Pay $5 to your church if you go to church. And don't be in my comments talking about tithing. If you don't do it, fine. If you don't believe in it, fine. I don't care. I don't. I'm just telling you what works for me. You do what works for you. Okay. This is the 1% wealth shift. You're shifting your wealth by putting 1 to 10% up every time you get income. Now, the third thing you're going to do, I see that smile coming up on my face. Why? Oh, I like this one. You're gonna monetize your authority. See, some of y'all just happy with having authority and ain't charging nobody for it. You know, the people call you every day. Oh, I want to pick your brain. What you think about this? Well, let me send you an invoice and I'll be happy to tell you what I think about it. How about that? Because obviously you called me, you think I have some expertise. Pay me for utilizing my brain. Pay me. And there's nothing wrong with that. I meet so many powerful people who are so humble. And I'm just like, okay, yeah, you just gave them a $10,000 master class. And they ain't even thoughtful enough to say, well, I know I just got $10,000 worth of info. Let me at least Cash App or PayPal or something. They don't even do that. They don't do none of that. So you have to begin to leverage and monetize your authority. How are you going to do that? You're going to create content that you can charge for. You're going to write a book. You're going to publish a book because there's two different things. Many of you have written your book, but you just haven't taken the next step and published it. You're going to start a Facebook group and charge to be in a group. If they don't see the value or you haven't been putting out the value, start off and making it without charge. You're going to get you some digital content that goes with your business or that goes with the business that you want to start. And you're going to monetize your authority. You're going to ask for sponsorships. The number one reason I think most people don't have it is because they don't ask. And the reason why you don't ask because your negative self-talk tell you sound thirsty. I'm from Chicago, so you're gonna hear some Chicago lingo. You sound thirsty. Professional lingo, oh, they're gonna think that you're broke or that no, they think I'm a businesswoman. If you're gonna think anything about me when I ask for some money, think I'm because I'm a businesswoman. How about that? Start reframing your self-talk. They're going to take me seriously because I'm asking to get paid for my expertise. They're not going to think that you're broke or that no, they're going to look at you as a professional and as an expert because you're asking to be compensated. How about that? How about that? Sometimes we are our biggest haters and we give ourselves the most negative talk and talk our way out of opportunities because of what we said to ourselves, not because of what they said to us. It's about because of what you told yourself mentally. Oh, I don't qualify. Oh, but this. Oh, but that. Boy, if you don't get on and do what you got to do, say what you got to say, ask for what you got to ask for. I've been so surprised when I asked for something and didn't come through. I'm like, so wait a minute. All I had to do was ask? Oh, that's all I had to do was ask? Oh, I ain't been asking enough. So now I'm the ask queen. Hey, you want to collaborate? Hey, you want to publish a book? Hey, you want to tell your story? Hey, you want to do a conference together? Hey, you want to. This is how I end up getting the majority of my business. I ask. I ask for it. How's somebody going to give you something if you don't ask for it? Oh, you wait on them to just offer you success and freedom. Okay. It doesn't work like that. It doesn't. I wish it worked like that. I wish people would just see how great you are and how smart you are and how professional you are, how funny you are. And just, you'll get that sometimes, but 9 times out of 10, you got to ask, right? So this is how you're going to monetize your authority. You're going to create something and you're going to put a price tag to it. If don't you go low, you go high. Do you know how many authors I work with and they're afraid to charge $20 for their book? You think people gonna pay $20 for a book? If they don't, it ain't for them. Cause you gonna lower your price for that one person that want to pay 15 and exclude the million that want to pay 20. One thing when you come into business and you're dealing with money, don't do your prices based on what you got in the bank. Because that's literally what happened. When people say that, when you are afraid to charge minimum $20 for a product, that tells me that's because you broke. And I don't mean that without any to be bad because I've been broke before. But that tells me that you're making a decision based off your current financial situation and not based off of marketplace value. And not even, and it's also showing me your value, right? And that is something that we do in the beginning stages of business until we have scraped out and unlearned that bad behavior with money. If someone brought you a Tiffany bracelet and told you it was $20, you would know that they didn't understand the value. That's what you look like when you are in these marketplace streets charging low for your service. It looks like you don't know your value, but not under my watch. Not under my watch. You will know your value. You will have a good relationship with money. You will unlearn that the only way you can make money is by working 120 hours in a week, in 2 weeks. Like, no, you don't have to work that hard. You do have to work smart and you do have to work, but there is a better way. And I'm living proof to tell you that if you change your relationship and your perception of money, if you get you a business coach, if you get around people that have more money than you and shut up and listen and observe and don't act like you got more than them, let them teach you. If you begin to not mix funds and begin to allocate money, you're going to see a difference in your perception and your relationship with money because it is a relationship. It is a relationship. And you're going to get to the point where you understand that no longer will money tell you what to do. You're going to tell money what to do because money be pimping us. Oh, do this, do this. Hold on, money. Let me tell you what you about to do. Stop telling me what to do. Let me tell you what you going to do. You're going to be invested. You're going to be put to the side and you're going to just sit still. That's when you get your control back. You start telling money what it's going to do versus money telling you what you going to do. Right? So that's why today on this Take It Back Thursday, it was so important for me to come and go through this journey with you because it's time. It's time for us to understand that it's our time to make money. And there's never been a time in my 48 years of living that it was so available and so possible to do. But you got to have the right disciplines. You got to have the right disciplines. If this was helpful to you today, give me some hearts. Give me some questions, comments. Let me know if you want me to continue to do Take It Back Thursdays. Um, I really enjoy teaching, coaching, mentoring. And so I think that this is a great way for us to grow together. It's a great way for us to begin to um, build a professional relationship together. And so, again, this was the last part of our Take It Back Thursdays. If you have any other subjects or topics that you want us to discuss on Take It Back Thursday, you can always put those topics in the comments. You can always DM us and tell us what questions you have, and we'll do a Take It Back Thursday on there. Um, and we'll go from there. But this has been such a great um opportunity for me for to get you to see how I coach, how I train, my personality, because it doesn't change. I'm very passionate, I'm very professional, and I'm very fun. I love having fun teaching. And I love giving it to you straight up, right? Because life is going to give it to you straight up. So you need people in your life that's not going to sugarcoat it for you and just give it to you the right way, right? All right. Well, thank you all so much for tuning in to Take It Back Thursday. Make sure you watch this again on a replay. Um, and just take notes of what we talked about today and really do that deep work that's needed. And once you've done it, and if you have any type of um, testimonials from this Take It Back Thursday, taking back your finance, then definitely come back and let me know. You can always visit us at sophisticatedpress.com. My name is Renetta Gunn Stevens. And it has just been a great, great, great opportunity being available for you all for this 4-part series of Take It Back Thursdays. And remember, take back your finance, take back your authority, take back your time, and take back your confidence. Have a wonderful rest of your day.